When Bleach the Thousand Year Blood War came back, it was like reuniting with a friend you haven't seen in years, and he had a massive glow up. A 52 episode season of 4 cores adapting the final arc, with Kubo himself supervising the project, the animation being beyond acceptable, living up to the same quality that modern action shows have been pumping out for the past 10 years. And it's even getting a simuldub with them bringing back basically all the cast members for us Toonami faithful who watched it on TV.
These are the distortions they've been creating, the Quincy's. He's been working us all to the bone, the tyrant.
Wait a minute, that is not what Youruichi is supposed to sound like. What the hell happened? Well, a lot actually. That is not the iconic Wendy Lee, but instead Aneris Quiñones. The explanation being that they thought that Youruichi was one of the characters that needed to be recast, and so they offered the role to Aneris. And to the uninitiated, that sounds like a pretty reasonable explanation. But once you start digging a little bit more, that's when I start raising my eyebrow. For starters, in an interview, Wendy Lee expressed interest in coming back to reprise Youruichi, and even mentioned a smaller character that she came back for.
And I have not been a big part of it yet, so I have a very small role, Manoli, who showed up early in the first few episodes, so I got to come in and do that, but I'm like, so when do we get to Youruichi? That's the one I'm really waiting for. So I got a little nervous about that, but the fans have been telling me, based on the manga, she has a very big part of the final story arc. So I'm looking forward to that, and I know nothing about it.
But I see what you're saying. That was just Core 1. There's a whole year-long gap in between seasons. And you'd be right. But then, they called her back to play Tatsuki in Core 2, the same season where she got recast. And remember, Thousand Year Blood War was a simul-dub. If you don't know what that means, that's when the dub is streaming while the anime is still being broadcast on TV in Japan. This isn't like those Funimation simuldubs where, if the original actor is unavailable, they'll have another voice actor tag in until the original one can come back and they can continue playing the character throughout the show. No, this media company let Aneris announce this on her Twitter, communicating that this was supposed to be a more permanent change. Knowing that, I understand why Wendy Lee caused a bit of a ruckus on Twitter. To her, it looks like she was backstabbed, coming to reprise all your smaller roles, waiting for your biggest and most popular one to come up, only to find out that you've been replaced in that role without your knowledge? Is it a coincidence that Wendy Lee's tweets come after Aneris' announcement? Could it be that maybe she found out she was replaced at the same time we did? What it looks like is that you tried to replace a popular character and the white woman that plays her with a black woman for brownie points from the diversity crowd. But it wasn't a clean break, and so the people saw it for what it was. Exactly that. This is in stark contrast to someone like Jameson Price, who willingly gave up his role as Chad so he could be played by someone more ethnically accurate. See, this is why I don't believe Studiopolis when they say that when they found out Wendy Lee actually could play Youruichi, it was too late to pull the episode. Because not only did you allow Aneris to announce this on her Twitter, you waited 2 weeks to inform her that she's been replaced. And it's not even an unreasonable conclusion to come to that this was done for diversity reasons. We know that this Western industry has been ideologically captured, and that bleeds over into the VO industry. Look no further than the stinks that were made about Apu being played by a white guy, or the Avatar movie that recently came out, where they decided not to get the original actors who played the characters, to instead go for ones that match the racial backgrounds of these fake characters in this made-up world, going so far as to get a blind woman to play Toph.
You can't make this shit up!
And those same identity-obsessed people have wormed their way into this space.
After all the anime that I have seen, I am convinced that Japan has maybe like 5 niggas max that live there. I have seen very little good representation of black people in anime and manga. And I'm also convinced with the Japan Negro 5 that Japan knows where all 5 of them live at all times.
Representation was always something that wasn't really done very well. In particular, speaking to black characters, you don't see too many black characters.
Anime is really influential, but if we actually look at it, how many black characters are there in the shows? How many black folks are the voices? But yet, there's only like a little few of black characters in anime. There's actually black people in the animes. What, the animals? Right? Because that's what they see us as, right? You gotta understand what messages they put in certain episodes, because it ain't just evolving. It also shows where racism comes from. I know when I watch anime, I be like, where the is my people at? Because I'm tired of seeing these pale folks up here. Please. Because I really want to see black animes. It ain't enough.
And here brings another question. Why are you looking for representation from a foreign media made for said foreign audience? And this also shows that this is mainly about popularity, because there's already an apparatus made to appeal to people like that. Hollywood has been doing triple-double backflips to make sure you feel included in your representation, but apparently that's not enough. So when you go to a foreign media looking for that same thing and are surprised it doesn't happen, you just end up outing yourselves as a tourist. Not liking the medium for what it is, but complaining about what it isn't and saying it should change to appeal to you. Another reason is Studiopolis' official statement. It might be the official reason that we're given for all of this, but I don't think it's the real one. And if you're a bit confused on what I mean, tell me if this sounds familiar to you at all. We here at Platinum Games announce that Helena Taylor will not be returning as Bayonetta, due to overlapping circumstances that made it difficult for her to reprise her role. Getting that information sucked to hear as a fan of the Bayonetta games. But look at what they said. Both these statements are informative, but also don't harm any professional or personal reputations. We know that stuff like this happens in real life, and so it's not hard to believe a statement like this when it's given out. We can accept it as the real reason, as Helena Taylor and Platinum Games have their own professional obligations and timelines to meet them. This was until Helena Taylor decided to get on camera and give us the real reason. She was offered $10,000 to do Bayonetta 3 and thought that wasn't enough. Then wrote a letter to the franchise creator with her grievances, and he offered her $5,000 more, but she still didn't think that was enough, and so she refused the offer. Now, she did lie about the original offer and tried to get people to boycott the game and didn't have to fess up until she was outed by Jason Schreier, but that's beside the point. Knowing the real reason why she didn't return makes sense for why this was the official response. It protected everyone's reputation involved. But now, Helena's professional reputation has taken a hit now that we know what she's willing to do if she doesn't think she's getting paid enough. And her reputation would stay intact if she kept her mouth shut and didn't participate in any of this extra stuff. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but I think of this as sort of a test drive, a dry run, if you will, for this forcing authentic casting, in this case with a popular anime with a popular character that people see as black for some reason. I'll end it with this. If Berserk gets an anime at any point in the future, I think Carrie Keranen might be missing from the cast list. I don't think that the powers that be are too keen on having a woman with your skin complexion playing Casca anymore.